The conference room smells like expensive leather and the kind of cologne that costs more than my monthly rent. My ribs scream with every shallow breath I take, and I'm using every ounce of control I have to keep my hands steady on the portfolio in front of me. The bruise on my left side, the one that's definitely a cracked rib, maybe two, is turning spectacular shades of purple and green beneath my silk blouse. I've wrapped it as tight as I can manage, but sitting upright in this Herman Miller chair for the last 40 minutes is turning into an endurance test I'm rapidly failing. Across the table, Richard Calloway is talking about quarterly projections with the kind of enthusiasm only a man who's never been hit can muster. To my left, Janet from marketing is nodding along, making notes. To my right, the new client, the reason we're all here on a Friday evening when normal people are heading home, hasn't said a word since he walked in 20 minutes late. Salvatore Greco. Even his name sounds dangerous. He's younger than I expected from the file I reviewed, maybe 35 with dark eyes that haven't stopped moving since he sat down. Assessing. Calculating. He's wearing a charcoal suit that fits him like it was sewn onto his body, and there's a watch on his wrist that probably costs more than my car. When Richard introduced us, Salvatore's handshake was brief, but his palm was warm, calloused in a way that doesn't match the expensive clothes. These aren't the hands of a man who only signs papers. I've been in corporate consulting for 6 years, and I've gotten good at reading people. Salvatore Greco isn't just here about the real estate acquisition we're supposed to be facilitating. Men like him, men who walk into rooms like they own the air itself, don't need consultants for simple property deals. Harper, why don't you walk Mr. Greco through the zoning complications? Richard's voice cuts through my internal monologue, and I straighten automatically. The movement sends a lightning bolt of pain through my torso, and I have to bite the inside of my cheek to keep from gasping. The room tilts slightly, just a degree or two, but enough that I have to grip the edge of the table. Of course. My voice comes out steady. Thank God for small mercies. I flip open the report, focusing on the words until they stop swimming. The properties you're interested in acquiring are currently zoned for mixed commercial and residential use. However, the City Council has been discussing a rezoning initiative that would— Who did that to you? His voice is quiet, but it cuts through my presentation like a blade. I stop mid-sentence, looking up. Salvatore Greco is staring at me with an intensity that makes my skin prickle. He's not looking at my face. He's looking at my wrist, the left one, where the sleeve of my blouse has ridden up just enough to reveal the edge of a bruise. A handprint, actually, purple-black against my pale skin. The room goes silent. I tug my sleeve down, smooth and practiced. I'm sorry, I don't— Your wrist! He's still staring at me, and there's something in his expression I can't identify. That's a handprint. Someone grabbed you. Hard. Richard clears his throat uncomfortably. Mr. Greco, perhaps we should focus on— I asked her. Salvatore doesn't look away from me. Not you. My heart is hammering now, and the adrenaline is making the pain worse. I can feel sweat beading at my temples despite the air conditioning. It's nothing. I'm clumsy. No, you're not. It's not a question. You've been sitting perfectly still for 40 minutes because moving hurts. You're breathing shallow. Broken ribs, probably, and that bruise on your wrist is 4 days old, maybe 5, so I'll ask again, who did that to you? How does he know how old the bruise is? How does he know about my ribs when I'm wearing a loose blouse specifically to hide the binding? Mr. Greco, I appreciate your concern, but I assure you— The room spins harder this time. The edges of my vision are going dark, tunneling down to a pinpoint. I recognize this feeling. I've been fighting it all day. Not enough food, not enough water, too much pain, and my body is finally staging a revolt. Harper? Janet's voice sounds distant. I try to stand, thinking maybe if I can just get some air, but my legs aren't receiving signals from my brain anymore. The portfolio slips from my hands, papers scattering across the polished table. I hear Richard saying something, but the words are underwater. Then I'm falling. I don't hit the ground. Instead, there are hands, strong, sure, catching me mid-collapse. An arm slides around my waist, and I can't stop the cry of pain that tears from my throat as the pressure hits my broken ribs. The world is sideways. I'm being lifted, cradled against something warm and solid that smells like sandalwood and gunpowder. "Call an ambulance." Salvatore's voice is right above me, calm and commanding. "Now." "I don't think that's—" Richard starts. "I don't care what you think. Call an ambulance." I try to tell them I'm fine, but my tongue is thick and my mouth won't form words. The darkness at the edges of my vision is spreading, eating the light. I can feel his heartbeat, steady, unhurried, against my shoulder. Can feel his grip adjusting, careful not to press on my ribs. "Stay with me." His voice drops, meant only for me. "Come on, Harper, eyes open." I force my eyes to focus on his face. Up close, I can see details I missed before. A thin scar cutting through his left eyebrow, the precise line of his jaw, the way his pupils have dilated slightly. He's watching me with an expression I can't read, something between concern and fury. "Who did this?" he asks again, quieter now. "Give me a name." Why does he care? He's a client. I'm a consultant. This is supposed to be a business meeting about property acquisition, not— "Marcus," I whisper, before I can stop myself, before I remember that admitting it out loud makes it real. My ex. Marcus. Something changes in Salvatore's face. His jaw tightens and his eyes go cold. Not the cold of ice, but the cold of steel. Final. Unforgiving. "Where does Marcus live?" "You can't—" I start, but the darkness is winning. My words slur. "Please don't. The ambulance is coming." Janet's voice, high and worried. "Harper, honey, just hold on." But I'm not worried about holding on. I'm worried about what I just saw in Salvatore Greco's eyes when I said Marcus's name. I'm worried because I've read enough true crime, consulted on enough legal cases, to recognize that look. That's the look of a man who's deciding how someone is going to die. "Don't—" I try again, but my body has had enough. The darkness swallows the light, and I surrender to it. The last thing I feel is his hand smoothing hair back from my forehead, surprisingly gentle for someone who looks like he could break a man in half. The last thing I hear is his voice, a promise or a threat. "I've got you now." I wake up to the steady beep of a heart monitor and the chemical smell of hospital antiseptic. My mouth tastes like cotton, and there's an IV in my right arm. The light is dim. Late evening, maybe, or early morning. I can't tell. "Welcome back." I turn my head, slowly because everything still hurts, and find Salvatore Greco sitting in the chair beside my bed. He's taken off his suit jacket, and his sleeves are rolled up to his elbows, revealing forearms roped with muscle and marked with ink. I can't make out the designs in the low light, but I catch glimpses of script and symbols that look Sicilian. "What are you doing here?" My voice is hoarse. "Making sure you're alive." He leans forward, elbows on his knees. "You've been out for 3 hours. Doctor says you have 2 cracked ribs, severe bruising, and mild dehydration. When's the last time you ate?" I don't answer. I'm too busy trying to process the fact that this man, this client I met for 40 minutes before I passed out, is sitting in my hospital room like it's the most natural thing in the world. "Where's Richard?" "Janet?" "I sent them home." "You sent them—" I stop, regroup. "You can't just send my colleagues home, and you definitely can't stay here. You're a client. This is inappropriate." "Inappropriate," he repeats, and there's something dark and amused in his tone. "You collapsed in my arms with broken ribs and bruises covering half your body, and you're worried about professional boundaries?" "Yes," I say firmly, even though my heart is racing. "I am. You need to leave." He doesn't move. "Where's Marcus now?" Ice floods my veins. "What?" "Your ex. Marcus. Where does he live?" "I'm not telling you that." "Harper." He says my name like he's tasting it, testing its weight. "I'm going to find him whether you tell me or not. I'm giving you the courtesy of asking first." "The courtesy?" I try to sit up, but pain lances through my ribs and I fall back with a gasp. "You don't even know me. Why do you care?" "Because you have his handprint on your wrist." Salvatore's voice is calm, factual. Because you came to a business meeting with cracked ribs and forced yourself to sit there pretending everything was fine. Because when I asked who did it, you looked terrified. Not of him, but of what would happen if you told the truth. His accuracy is terrifying. You don't understand. Then explain it to me. I can't. I look away, focusing on the IV drip. It's complicated. Complicated. The word is flat, dismissive. Men who hit women always are. He's a prosecutor, I say quietly. Assistant district attorney. He has connections, friends in the police department, judges who owe him favors. I tried to file a report once. It disappeared. I tried to leave. He found me in 2 days. Salvatore is quiet for a long moment. When he speaks again, his voice has changed. Softer, but somehow more dangerous. What's his full name? I'm not telling you. Harper. No. I force myself to meet his eyes. I don't know who you are. Not really. But I know enough. The way you carry yourself, the way everyone in that office treated you like you might explode at any second, the way Richard was practically sweating through his shirt. You're not just a real estate investor, so whatever you're thinking about doing to Marcus, don't. He's not worth getting yourself arrested. Something that might be respect flickers across Salvatore's face. You're smart. Smart enough to know when someone's thinking about committing a felony. Then you're smart enough to know that men like Marcus don't stop. He put you in the hospital once. That's what the doctor said. This wasn't the first time. 2 months ago, you came in with a concussion. 4 months before that, a dislocated shoulder. My blood runs cold. How do you? I asked questions, made some calls while you were unconscious. He stands, and the movement is fluid, controlled. He's taller than I realized, 6'2", maybe 6'3". You've been hiding this for at least a year, telling people you fell downstairs, walked into doors, got mugged, but you never pressed charges, never gave them his name. Because it wouldn't matter, I whisper. He's untouchable. No one's untouchable. Salvatore reaches into his pocket and pulls out a business card. Heavy stock, embossed lettering. He sets it on the bedside table. That's my private number. You call it if he comes near you again. I don't need. Yes, you do. He's not arguing, he's stating a fact. You don't have family in the city. Your file says you relocated from Portland 3 years ago. You don't have a support system. You're alone. The truth of it sits heavy in my chest. That still doesn't explain why you care. Salvatore studies me for a long moment, and I have the unsettling feeling he's seeing things I haven't said out loud. My mother had bruises, he says finally. When I was a kid, my father, he was a hard man, traditional. She used to tell me she was clumsy too. I wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting the brief flash of something raw in his expression before it shudders again. I was 8 when I finally figured out the truth, 9 when I tried to stop him. He rolls up his right sleeve higher, revealing a jagged scar running from wrist to elbow. He broke a bottle over my arm, told me to mind my business. My mother told me the same thing, said it was between a husband and wife, and I was too young to understand. How old were you when... I stop, not sure how to finish the question. 14, his voice is flat. When he finally went too far, she didn't survive it. Oh God, I'm sorry, I whisper. Don't be sorry, be smart. He buttons his cuff, hiding the scar. That card has my number. You use it. And what happens if I do? You come riding in like some kind of avenging angel? Something like that. He heads for the door, then pauses. The hospital bill is taken care of. So is the security outside your room. The what? You think I'm leaving you unprotected? Marcus knows you're here. Hospital records aren't as private as they should be, especially for someone with his connections. Salvatore glances back at me. There are 2 men outside your door. They'll stay until you're discharged. After that, we'll discuss long-term arrangements. I don't want your protection. You don't have a choice. He pulls the door open. Get some rest, Harper. We'll talk when you're stronger. Wait. But he's already gone, the door clicking shut behind him. I stare at the business card on the bedside table. Heavy cream cardstock, embossed with a single name, Salvatore Greco, and a phone number. No company name, no title, just the name and number, like that's all the information anyone would ever need. I should throw it away. Should call hospital security and have them remove whoever Salvatore posted outside my door. Should pretend this entire surreal encounter never happened. Instead, I pick up the card and tuck it under my pillow. Just in case. They discharge me 36 hours later with a prescription for pain medication I can't afford and instructions to take it easy that I can't follow because I have bills to pay and a job that won't wait for me to heal. The two men Salvatore mentioned are still outside my room when I'm wheeled out, huge, silent, wearing dark suits that scream private security. They don't acknowledge me, but they follow at a distance as the nurse takes me down to the hospital entrance. Richard is waiting with his car. Harper? He's using his concerned boss voice. How are you feeling? Fine. I'm not fine. Every breath hurts, and the pain medication they gave me is wearing off. Thanks for picking me up. Of course. He opens the passenger door, helps me ease into the seat. Listen, about the meeting with Mr. Greco, I'm sorry. I should have rescheduled. I wasn't feeling well, and I should have said something. That's not... Richard closes my door, walks around to the driver's side. When he's settled behind the wheel, he doesn't start the car immediately. Harper, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. My stomach sinks. Okay. Are you in some kind of trouble? What? No. Why would you? Because Salvatore Greco called me yesterday. Richard's hands are tight on the steering wheel. He wanted to know about your employment history, your performance reviews, whether you have family in the city. And when I asked him why he needed that information, he said it was personal business. Oh no. I don't know why he'd ask about that. I lie. Maybe he was just concerned because I collapsed during the meeting. Maybe. Richard doesn't sound convinced. Harper, I don't know what your connection to Greco is, but I need you to understand something. That man is dangerous. The real estate deal he's proposing? It's a front. Everyone knows it. He's trying to legitimize money from sources we don't ask about, and the city's letting him do it because they're too scared to say no. He's MAFIA, I say quietly. Richard flinches. We don't use that word. But yes, so whatever's happening between you two, nothing's happening. He was a client for 40 minutes before I passed out. That's it. Good. Richard finally starts the car. Keep it that way. Men like Salvatore Greco don't get involved with people for altruistic reasons. If he's showing interest in you, it's because he wants something. I lean my head back against the seat, closing my eyes. He doesn't want anything. Everyone wants something, Harper. The question is, what are you willing to pay when he asks for it? Richard drops me at my apartment building, a converted warehouse in a neighborhood that's trying very hard to be trendy, but hasn't quite gotten there yet. I thank him, promise I'll rest, and watch him drive away before I attempt the 3 flights of stairs to my unit. Each step is agony. By the time I reach my door, I'm shaking and nauseous and seriously reconsidering my decision to turn down the wheelchair. I fumble with my keys, finally get the door open, and stumble inside. The apartment is exactly as I left it 2 days ago, tiny, sparse, and blessedly empty. I drop my bag on the couch and make it as far as the kitchen before I have to stop and breathe through a wave of dizziness. The prescription bottle rattles in my jacket pocket. I should take one of the pills, should eat something first, but the thought of food makes my stomach turn. I settle for water and half a pain pill, then shuffle to the bedroom. That's when I see it. The roses. A dozen of them, blood red, arranged in a crystal vase on my nightstand. There's a card tucked among the stems, and even from across the room I can see the handwriting. I know the handwriting. No? No. My hands are shaking as I pick up the card. Hospital food is terrible. Glad you're home. We should talk about your new friends. M. Marcus. Marcus was here, in my apartment, while I was in the hospital. How did he get in? I changed the locks after the last time. Added a deadbolt. But Marcus is resourceful, and he has friends who can open doors that are supposed to stay closed. I back away from the roses like they might attack me, and my hip hits the dresser. The pain barely registers through the fear flooding my system. He was here, in my bedroom, touching my things. The burner phone, the one I keep for emergencies, the one Marcus doesn't know about, is still in my nightstand drawer where I hid it. I grab it with shaking hands and pull out the business card I tucked into my jeans pocket before leaving the hospital. I shouldn't call. This is exactly what Salvatore wants. Me afraid, reaching out, giving him leverage. But I'm staring at roses from a man who put me in the hospital, and Richard's warning is echoing in my head. Men like Marcus don't stop. I dial the number. He answers on the second ring. Harper. Not a question. He knew it was me. He was in my apartment. My voice is steady, but my hands aren't. Marcus. He left roses. He knows about you, about the hospital. Where are you right now? My apartment. But I don't think he's... Lock your door. Don't open it for anyone except me. I'm 15 minutes away. Salvatore, you don't have to... Lock your door. The command in his voice is absolute. I'm already moving. The line goes dead. I stare at the phone for a moment, then do what he said. Lock the door, engage the deadbolt, slide the chain into place. Then I grab the baseball bat I keep in the hall closet and sit on the couch with it across my lap, watching the door. 13 minutes later, there's a knock. It's me, Salvatore's voice, muffled through the door. I check the peephole. It's him, and he's not alone. There are 2 other men with him, the same ones from the hospital. I open the door. Salvatore steps inside, and his eyes sweep the apartment in 3 seconds flat, assessing exits, sightlines, security. Show me. I lead him to the bedroom. He stops in the doorway, staring at the roses, and I watch his expression go cold and hard. These weren't here when you left for the hospital? No. I left 2 days ago for work, went straight to the office, then to the meeting where... I stop. He has a key. I don't know how, but he does. Salvatore walks to the nightstand, pulls out a pair of leather gloves from his pocket, and puts them on before picking up the card. He reads it once, then looks at me. Pack a bag. What? Clothes for a week, toiletries, anything you need. You're not staying here. I can't just leave my apartment. Yes, you can. He's already moving, opening my closet, pulling out a duffel bag I didn't know I had. Marcus has access. That means this apartment isn't safe. You're coming with me. Coming with you where? Somewhere he can't reach you. Salvatore sets the bag on the bed. Pack. Now. I don't even know you. He stops, turns to face me fully. You know enough. You know I'm dangerous. You know I have resources Marcus doesn't. And you know, he gestures at the roses, that staying here is a death sentence. The word death hangs in the air between us. He won't kill me, I say, but I'm not sure I believe it. He put you in the hospital with cracked ribs. What do you think happens the next time he gets angry? Or the time after that? Salvatore's voice is matter of fact, clinical. Men like Marcus escalate. You've been lucky so far. That luck won't hold. I hate that he's right. Hate that I'm considering this. What do you want from me? Want? Everyone wants something. That's what Richard said. So what is it? What do you get out of protecting me? Salvatore tilts his head, studying me. What do you think I want? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. He's quiet for a moment, then. My mother died because no one helped her. Because everyone who could have intervened decided it wasn't their business. I was 14 years old, and I watched her bleed out on the kitchen floor because my father's pride was more important than her life. He picks up the roses, vase and all, and walks them to the trash can, dumping them in with a crash of glass. You think I want something from you? I want Marcus to understand what happens when men like him think they're untouchable. That's what I want. Revenge. Justice. He pulls off the gloves, tucks them back in his pocket. There's a difference. Not to the law. The law didn't help you. The law made Marcus untouchable. Salvatore moves to the bedroom door. You have 10 minutes to pack. If you're not ready, I'm carrying you out in what you're wearing. He means it. I can see it in the set of his shoulders, the absolute certainty in his voice. Where are you taking me? Somewhere safe. That's all you need to know right now. I should argue, should call someone, but who? I don't have family here. My friends are casual at best. Richards made his position clear. Stay away from Salvatore Greco. But Marcus has a key to my apartment and knows where I work, and has connections in every corner of this city's justice system. Salvatore Greco is offering me protection from a man who's proven he can hurt me whenever he wants. It's not really a choice. 10 minutes, I say quietly. He nods once and leaves me alone to pack. I stand in my bedroom, the bedroom where Marcus left roses like a threat, and I make a decision that will either save my life or end it. I pack the bag. Salvatore's car is a black Mercedes SUV with tinted windows and leather interior that still has that new car smell. One of his men, the shorter one, built like a linebacker, takes my bag and loads it in the back. The other one, tall, scarred, with eyes that never stop moving, opens the passenger door for me. Salvatore slides behind the wheel, and we pull away from my building without a word. I watch the familiar streets pass by. The corner store where I buy coffee, the park where I run when my ribs aren't broken, the intersection where Marcus rear-ended me 6 months ago, and I was stupid enough to give him my number when he asked if I was okay. That's how it started. A car accident, a charming smile, an offer to buy me dinner to apologize for the inconvenience. 3 dates before he showed me who he really was. You're quiet. Salvatore's voice pulls me back to the present. I'm processing. Process out loud. I need to know what you're thinking. I'm thinking this is insane. I'm thinking I don't know you. I'm thinking I'm making a huge mistake. I glance at him. And I'm thinking that even knowing all that, I still feel safer in this car with you than I did in my own apartment. That's not a mistake. That's survival instinct. Or Stockholm Syndrome in the making. He almost smiles. You're not my prisoner, Harper. You can leave whenever you want. I'll take you anywhere you ask. Hotel, friend's house, airport. Just say the word. And go where? Marcus will find me. You said it yourself. I said he'll try to find you. I didn't say he'll succeed. Salvatore turns onto the highway, heading north out of the city. Where I'm taking you, he won't be able to reach you, but you need to understand something. What? Once you cross this line with me, there's no going back to normal. Marcus will know you're under my protection. That makes you untouchable to him, but it also makes you visible to my world. People will ask questions. They'll make assumptions. What kind of assumptions? His hands tighten on the steering wheel. That you're mine. That you're under my protection because you matter to me. In my world, that means something. It means anyone who hurts you answers to me. And what does it mean for me? It means you'll be safe. But it also means you'll be connected to me, to my family, to the business. That doesn't go away when the threat is over. I should be terrified. I should demand he turn around and take me back. Instead, I ask, how long until we get there? An hour. I lean my head back against the seat and close my eyes. My ribs are aching, the pain medication is wearing off, and I'm so exhausted I can barely think straight. Sleep, Salvatore says quietly. I'll wake you when we arrive. What if I don't wake up? The question slips out before I can stop it. What if Marcus isn't going to touch you again? It's not a promise, it's a fact. I give you my word. Why does your word matter? Because I don't give it lightly. He glances at me briefly before returning his eyes to the road. And because I've never broken it. I don't know why, but I believe him. I close my eyes and let the motion of the car lull me into something that's not quite sleep but close enough. When I wake, we're pulling through iron gates that are definitely not standard residential security. Where are we? I ask, sitting up. Home, Salvatore says simply. The house, if you can call it that, is a sprawling stone mansion set back from the road by at least a quarter mile of private drive. Security cameras are visible on every corner, and there are men stationed at the gate and the entrance. This is where you live? One of the places. He parks in front of the main entrance, and immediately one of his men is opening my door. Come on, I'll show you to your room. My room. Like this is normal. Like I'm a house guest and not a woman fleeing from her abusive ex. Salvatore leads me inside, and I try not to gawk at the interior. Marble floors, vaulted ceilings, artwork that looks original and probably costs more than I'll make in my lifetime. We climb a curved staircase to the second floor, and he opens a door at the end of the hall. You'll stay here. Private bathroom, balcony if you need air. There's a lock on the door. You can use it if it makes you feel safer. The room is bigger than my entire apartment. 4-poster bed, sitting area, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking manicured gardens. Salvatore, I can't. Yes, you can. He sets my bag on the bed. Dinner is at 7. Someone will come get you. If you need anything before then, there's a phone on the nightstand. Press 1 and it'll connect you to the kitchen. Press 2 and it reaches me directly. Why are you doing this? He pauses in the doorway. Because no one did it for my mother, and because... He stops, seems to reconsider whatever he was about to say. Get some rest, Harper. We'll talk more later. He closes the door, and I'm alone in a stranger's mansion with broken ribs and a decision I can't take back. I sink onto the bed and finally let myself feel everything I've been holding back. The fear, the relief, the absolute certainty that my life just changed in ways I can't predict or control. And underneath it all, something I'm not ready to name. The memory of Salvatore's hands catching me when I fell, the steady beat of his heart when I was pressed against his chest, the cold fury in his eyes when he read Marcus's note. He wants Marcus to pay. That's all this is. Protection born from guilt and old trauma. I repeat it to myself like a mantra, but I'm not sure I believe it. The phone slips from my hand, clattering against the fine china plate. Wine sloshes over the rim of my glass, spreading across the white tablecloth like blood. How? My voice is barely a whisper. How does he know where I am? Salvatore's jaw is tight enough that I can see the muscle ticking beneath his skin. He exchanges a look with Giancarlo, silent communication that I can't interpret but understand the weight of. Giancarlo, lock down the property. Full security protocol. I want every camera checked, every angle covered. If a bird flies over this estate, I want to know about it. Salvatore stands, his chair scraping against marble. And find out who took that photo. Someone was watching the gates. Already on it. Giancarlo is moving before he finishes speaking. Phone already pressed to his ear, rapid Italian flowing too fast for me to catch more than a few words. Subito, tutti, adesso, immediately, everyone, now. Salvatore's hand lands on my shoulder, warm, grounding. Look at me, Harper. I force my eyes up to meet his. The fury I saw moments ago is still there, but it's controlled now, channeled into something colder and more dangerous. He's trying to scare you, Salvatore says. That's all this is, a power play. He wants you to panic, to run, to make a mistake. It's working. My hands are shaking. I press them flat against the table, trying to stop the tremor. He knows where I am. He knows I'm with you. He's going to do nothing. Salvatore moves around the table, crouching beside my chair so we're at eye level. You're under my protection now. That means something, Harper. That means he can't touch you without consequences he's not prepared to face. You don't know Marcus. He's an assistant district attorney with an inflated sense of his own power. Salvatore's voice is flat, dismissive. I've dealt with men who run countries, who command armies, who have body counts that would make Marcus lose his nerve. He's a small man playing a big game, and he's about to learn what happens when you step into a world that doesn't play by courtroom rules. I want to believe him. God, I want to believe him, but Marcus has been untouchable for so long, protected by badges and judicial immunity, and a system that looks the other way when one of their own crosses lines. What are you going to do? I ask. First, make sure this house is locked down tighter than a federal prison. Second, he pulls out his own phone, scrolls through contacts. I'm going to make some calls. Let certain people know that Marcus Reed is now a person of interest to my organization. Reed? I blink. How do you know his last name? I never told you his last name. Salvatore stands, slides his phone back into his pocket. You told me his first name and that he's an ADA. That's enough. I had someone pull his file while you were unconscious in the hospital. Marcus Andrew Reed, 34, graduated Columbia Law, works in the Special Victims Unit, ironic choice for a man who beats women, and has a sealed juvenile record that cost his parents a significant amount of money to make disappear. The detail is staggering and terrifying. You investigated him. Of course I did. You think I was going to let you stay in that apartment without knowing exactly what kind of threat I was dealing with? He moves to the window, staring out at the darkening grounds. Marcus Reed has secrets, Harper, the kind that powerful men pay to keep buried, but money only protects you from certain people. And you're not one of those people? No. He glances back at me. I'm the kind of person money can't stop. I'm the consequence men like Marcus forget exists until it's too late. There's a knock at the dining room door. One of Salvatore's men, the tall one with the scar, enters, nods to Salvatore. Perimeter is secure. Cameras show the photo was taken from the road with a telephoto lens. Long-range professional equipment. Whoever took it knew what they were doing. Marcus doesn't have those skills, I say. No, but he has the budget to hire someone who does. Salvatore dismisses the guard with a gesture. Private investigators, surveillance specialists, the DA's office uses them all the time for case prep. He called in a favor. So what now? I stand, ignoring the protest from my ribs. I just stay here? Hide behind your walls while Marcus plays surveillance games? No. Salvatore's smile is cold, predatory. Now we change the game. He wants to make you feel hunted? We're going to make him understand what it actually feels like to be prey. A chill runs down my spine, part fear, part something else I don't want to examine. What does that mean? It means Marcus is about to have a very bad week. He walks to the door, pauses. Giancarlo will show you to the library. There's secure internet if you need to contact work. Let them know you're taking personal time. I have calls to make. Salvatore, he stops, looks back. Thank you, I say quietly, for this, for keeping me safe. I know you don't owe me anything, and I know this is, you don't need to thank me. His expression softens fractionally. Just stay inside the house. Don't go near windows without closing the curtains first. And Harper? Yes? Stop thinking you're a burden. You're not. He leaves before I can respond. I stand alone in the dining room, staring at the spilled wine on the white tablecloth, and I try to process the fact that my life has become something out of a crime thriller. 2 days ago, I was a consultant working on property acquisitions and hiding bruises under long sleeves. Now I'm under the protection of a man who talks about making people pray with the same casualness most people discuss the weather. Giancarlo reappears in the doorway. Signorina? The library is this way. I follow him through hallways lined with art that probably belongs in museums, past rooms I glimpse but don't enter. The library is exactly what you'd expect from a house like this. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, leather furniture, a fireplace that could fit a small car. Salvatore said you might need internet access. Giancarlo gestures to a laptop on the desk. The connection is secure, encrypted. Whatever you need to send, it's safe. Thank you. He nods, turns to leave, then pauses. Signorina Harper. Yes? Salvatore is... He carries guilt. For his mother, for not being old enough, strong enough to save her. Giancarlo's eyes are kind but serious. When he sees someone in a situation like yours, it brings back memories, instincts. He will protect you with everything he has, but you should understand, it's not just about you, it's about the woman he couldn't save. The honesty is startling. I understand. Do you? Giancarlo studies me. Because men like Salvatore, when they decide someone is theirs to protect, they don't do it halfway. They don't accept failure. They become singular in focus. It's a blessing and a curse. You're warning me. I'm informing you. He smiles slightly. There's a difference. Salvatore is a good man, better than the world he was born into deserves. But he's also dangerous. And danger, Signorina, has a way of spreading to those nearby. More dangerous than Marcus? Different kind of dangerous. Your Marcus uses the system to hurt people while hiding behind respectability. Salvatore acknowledges what he is and makes no apologies. Giancarlo moves toward the door. The question is, which kind of dangerous are you willing to live with? He leaves me alone with that question echoing in my head. I sink into the leather chair behind the desk and open the laptop. My work email is full, Richard asking about my recovery, Janet sending well wishes, clients asking about project timelines. I compose a brief message saying I'm taking personal leave for health reasons, will be unavailable for the next week, and route urgent matters to my colleague David. I hit send before I can second-guess it. Then I sit in the library of a man I met 3 days ago, in a house built on money from sources I don't want to examine too closely, and I realize something. I don't want to go back. Not to my apartment with the locks Marcus can bypass, not to the job where I smile through pain and pretend everything's fine, not to the life where I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. I'm tired of being afraid. The door opens again. I expect Giancarlo, but it's Salvatore. He's changed, traded the dress shirt for a black Henley that somehow makes him look more dangerous, not less. His hair is slightly disheveled, like he's been running his hands through it. Email sent? He asks. How did you... I stop. You're monitoring the internet. I'm ensuring your safety. There's a difference. He crosses to the bar cart in the corner, pours 2 fingers of something amber into crystal glasses. Drink? I'm on pain medication. Then half. He brings me a glass with barely an inch of liquid. It'll help you sleep. I take it. Sip. Whiskey. Smooth, expensive, burns perfectly. You didn't come here to bring me a drink. No. He settles into the chair across from me, legs stretched out, deceptively relaxed. I came to tell you what I found out about Marcus. My fingers tighten on the glass. What did you find? 3 other women, before you, all settled out of court with NDAs attached. Salvatore's voice is clinical, factual. 2 were co-workers, 1 was a paralegal in his office. The pattern is consistent: charm, control, escalating violence, threats using his position. You're not the first Harper. You're just the first one he couldn't make disappear quietly. Nausea rolls through me. 3 others. That I could confirm in 3 hours. There might be more. These things have a way of staying buried when the abuser has power and money. He leans forward, elbows on knees. But here's what's interesting. The juvenile record, the one his parents paid to seal. It was assault. He put a girlfriend in the hospital when he was 16, fractured her orbital bone. The family paid 7 figures to make the charges disappear and the record sealed. He's been doing this since he was a teenager. Men like Marcus don't change. They just get better at choosing victims they think won't fight back. Salvatore's eyes are dark, intense. But they miscalculated with you. How? I didn't fight back. I hid. I lied. I protected him by staying silent. You survived. That's fighting back in its own way. He stands, walks to the window. The curtains are drawn, but he stares at them like he can see through them. And now you're here, which means you made a choice. Maybe not consciously, but when you called me from your apartment, when you packed that bag, when you got in my car, those were choices. You chose to stop being his victim. And become what? What am I to you, Salvatore? He's quiet for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice is low, careful. I don't know yet, but I know what you're not. You're not a victim, you're not a burden, and you're not alone anymore. The weight of those words settles between us, and I don't know what to say. Don't know how to articulate that. For the first time in over a year, I feel like I can breathe without calculating the consequences. What happens next? I ask. Next, we wait. Marcus will make a move, they always do. Men like him can't stand losing control. He'll try to contact you, try to manipulate you back into his reach. When he does, we'll be ready. And then? Then I'll give him a choice, leave you alone permanently or face consequences he's not equipped to handle. That sounds like a threat. It's a promise. Salvatore turns back to me, and the intensity in his gaze makes my breath catch. No one touches what's mine. And right now, Harper, you're under my protection. That makes you mine. I should object to the possessiveness in that statement, should remind him that I'm not property, not something to be claimed or owned, but there's something in the way he says it, not like I'm an object, but like I'm someone worth protecting, someone worth claiming. For how long? I whisper. How long what? How long am I yours? He crosses the space between us in 3 strides, crouches beside my chair the way he did in the dining room. This close, I can see flecks of gold in his dark eyes, can smell sandalwood and something darker underneath. Gunpowder, leather, danger. That depends, he says quietly. On what? On whether you want to stay. His hand comes up, hovering near my face but not touching. I can protect you from Marcus. I can make sure he never hurts you again. But after that? What happens after that is your choice, Harper. You can walk away, go back to your life, and I'll make sure you're safe to do it. Or, my heart is hammering. Or you stay. You let me show you what it's like to not be afraid, and we figure out what this is between us. His almost touch finally lands, fingers brushing my cheek, featherlight. Because there is something here. I felt it the moment you collapsed in my arms. I saw it in your eyes when you called me from your apartment, and I know you feel it too. I do. God help me, I do. This is crazy, I breathe. I don't even know you. Then get to know me. His thumb traces my jaw, and I shiver. I'm not asking you to decide tonight. I'm asking you to give us a chance. After Marcus is dealt with, after you're safe, after you have time to think clearly without fear coloring every decision. And if I say no, if I want to leave when this is over, then I'll let you go. I'll make sure you're protected, set up somewhere Marcus can't find you, and I'll walk away. His hand drops. I'm a lot of things, Harper, but I'm not him. I won't force you. I won't trap you. Your choice is your own. I believe him. Which is insane, considering everything I know about who he is, what he does. But I believe him. Okay, I say quietly. Okay? Okay, I'll stay, at least until this is over, until I can think clearly. I meet his eyes. And then we'll see. Something that might be relief flickers across his face. Then we'll see. He stands, offers his hand. I take it, let him pull me to my feet. We're close, too close, and I can feel the heat radiating off him, can see his pulse beating in his throat. You should rest, he says, but he doesn't step back. Your ribs need time to heal. I know. I'll have someone bring dinner to your room, something light. Okay. Neither of us moves. Salvatore? Yes? Thank you. For believing me, for helping me, for... I gesture vaguely. All of this. You don't need to thank me, Harper. Not for this. Not ever. He finally steps back, breaking the spell. Sleep well. Tomorrow we start planning. Planning what? His smile is dark, dangerous, and thrilling. Marcus reads Reckoning. He leaves me alone in the library with an empty whiskey glass and a racing heart. I sink back into the chair and realize something. I should be terrified. Should be planning my escape, should be calling someone, anyone, to get me out of this situation. But I'm not. Because for the first time in over a year, I'm not afraid. And that's the most dangerous feeling of all.